What's happening, guys? Just got back from doing a little bit of fishing, nice and dirty as you should be when you're done fishing. From 1776, not the year, 1776 Park is what it's called. We were doing a bit of fishing in Clear Creek, and when I say we, I was actually out there with Mr. Kirk Sides from the Houston Chronicle, his son Christopher, Christopher's friend Seth, and then Seth's dad. We were all out there fishing together and had a great time. Caught a bunch of really good fish, no monsters, but that's not why we were there. Loads of bluegill and catfish, really a fantastic location. A place that I would definitely recommend anyone watching head out to if you're in the Houston area. 1776 Park and Clear Creek as it runs through it. Just absolutely phenomenal landscape, phenomenal waterscape, just great. Should be a small article that'll appear in some of the kind of the community focused stuff on the fishing trip that we just did, so keep your eyes out for that. I look forward to seeing it. And if you're not familiar with Mr. Kirk Sides' work, it's really good. You'll find the link to some of the articles that he's done, some of the photo essays that he's done in the description of this video, some of the stuff that he's been generous enough to share with me. And I think you'll like it. I know I do. Now that we know where fish are, I feel comfortable turning the camera on so we're not wasting time. For every YouTube video I post, there's probably 3 or 4 fishing trips that I didn't get paid. I once fished one spot for 11 hours and ended up with no video.
How often do you fish, Peyton?
How often? Probably 2 or 3 times a week.
I mean, like out, not just out fishing, but out with the intention of filming.
Well, I almost never go fishing without filming.
Okay, so 2 or 3 times a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to kind of get them excited again.
Can say what you just said again about you like being out, but filming allows you to be alone, but not really be. What did you say?
Yeah. So when you're alone, there's a peace you find in solitude being alone in the outdoors, but you can't share that with people. But you can have that same feeling and still share your experiences if you're filming it. Because it's you and a camera. You don't feel as if you're alone necessarily because you're talking to your audience. Not in the moment, but like later what you're saying will be heard. You still can share the amazing things that you see and that you hear and experience. But that feeling that you get being outdoors alone is still there. It's like the best of all the worlds at once when you're filming yourself. So, you got just a little sunfish that decided to stab me. Ooh, he's hooked right to the lip, which is good. All right, so there's your catch. You can put that aside. That's a pretty fish. So what you do is you got to figure out how you're going to hold him first. Ooh. So if you hold your fish like this and you show it to your camera, you're not going to see anything but your fingernails. Mm-hmm. So you can either hold him by like the pelvic fin and just kind of put one finger under him like so, and then that way when you look back through your camera footage you can see more fish. Mm-hmm. So hold your fish. All right, get down where the camera can see you. Tell him your name and what you caught him on. Here, hold him up. This is your field of view right here.
Okay. I have no idea what I caught it on. So.
You know your name though, so let's start with that.
Okay, so I'm Seth. And caught this sunfish on a fishing rod.
On a fishing rod. What were you using for bait, Seth?
I was using just a worm.
Just a worm, and sometimes that's all it takes. Worms are, in my view, like the king of all bait. Hold him a little bit closer so we can see the colors on him. All right, hold him still right there. I'm going to readjust the camera. You stay still. Absolutely remarkable. Just the colors on these guys are just fantastic. So they do recover quick when you put them back, but they're not invincible. So let's put them right back where we got them from.
Oh, I just jailed myself.
And you can just toss him in. I mean, he's a pretty hardy little fish. And there he goes. Well done. So, is that the first fish you've caught, or have you had success before in the past?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Those are slimy.
They are. So they're covered in mucus, and the more excited that they get, especially like when they're in defense mode, when they're trying to escape a predator, they're going to produce more of it to try to slip out of whatever's got them. Mm-hmm. So that's why I always try and inevitably forget to bring a rag with me. It's like clockwork. Yeah, right there is good. So hook it with your finger first, then open the bail. There you go. That's better than the previous one. So you're getting there. All right. So this time, you see that spot where there's like a lot of mud on the bank and there's kind of a clearing. Let it go with your finger when it gets to that set of branches right there. So as you cast, yeah, let it go right there, and it'll probably end up over there somewhere. Now, I just saw a flash of white. What did you see?
Holy moly.
Did you see it, Christopher?
Huh? Did you see it?
No.
You didn't see it? It was this long. It was a catfish this long.
Okay, so you got a big catfish. All right.
You saw it, Sam.
Come on. So Seth has found a snake that has a fish in its mouth. We're trying to see how close we can get to it.
That's a good sign. Is that it?
He's on the far bank?
Yeah, I can see the fish.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So let me put this down. Try to see if we can zoom into that. So if you look on the far bank, you'll see just the white belly of that fish sticking up out of the water. There's a snake holding on to him. There you can see the back end of the snake to the left of the fish. It's called a diamond-backed water snake.
Yeah, it looks different than the ones that we saw over there.
Yeah, it's they're both subspecies of the Florida water snake, but they look very different in terms of like their color pattern. That is really, really neat. This is a good spot. If you look right down below, you see how those bubbles are moving the wrong way. Anytime you see a main current flowing one direction, and then you see a back eddy pulling water the opposite direction, that is gold. Like that's a spot worth giving a shot. Exactly. They also they don't have to spend as much energy fighting the current. You know, if you think about it, fish are not at the mercy of a current, but they always have to contend with it. It's like if you lived in a continual high wind. You felt something?
Yeah.
If you were always subject to having wind blowing on you constantly, and had to spend energy to fight it, you would naturally try to find the areas where it was the weakest, so you can kind of get some rest. Same thing with fish in the water. Yeah, if you feel it again, because you're so high above the fish, you can strike going up. Oh, I think you've got something. When you strike, start reeling. I would check your bait to see. Oh, you got him. He's on. You got a fish on. Nicely done.
Oh, that's the
Wait, let me get the net.
a different species. Oh, is it? That was entirely on accident.
So what tends to happen is they're either hiding in these types of like weed beds, or they're near it. You hook them, they realize they're in danger, and they try to run back into it, and that's how you end up with a stick on the end.
How long has he been on there?
Probably not long. You've actually done what's called foul hooking him. So it's through just the skin flap under his gill. So he was probably attacking your bait, And as you started reeling in, you just kind of chance hooked him right under that flap, which is not a bad thing always. Sometimes it's better because you can release a little guy. He's not damaged at all like that other one. So here, I'm going to let you do the honors if you want to. Just toss him back in there. And he's gone. As long as you get him back pretty quick,
Fantastic.
he'll be just fine. You know the worm? And see, you don't have to catch monster fish to enjoy catching fish. If you have an appreciation for them as a species of animal, as opposed to just a recreational view of how much of a fight they're going to put up, you can enjoy catching even the tiniest of fish. I was going to say, you are probably going to remember that fish that got away for a long time. You're gonna wake up in the middle of the night.
I go to college.
Exactly. It will bother you.
Yeah, I was telling him it's probably better that he didn't see it actually, because it's the mystery is even more so.
Exactly. No, sometimes it's better to not know what you missed.
What could have been? Do what? All right.
No, you're good. That's a good cast.
Get your GoPro. You just leave it on.
Well, the stinking iPhones only have about 90 minutes of battery time, so
The old ones, dude.
Oh, that was
I think you got it, buddy.
Oh yeah, good one.
Yay!
Nice. Oh, good. You hooked him pretty close to the end of his lip too, which is always nice to hook.
All right, so you've done one.
I've done two. I've done
You've
equal
one
set.
correctly.
All right, so hold on to your rod the same way you're holding. Let off on the clutch of the reel, and when you lift your rod now, let out about as much line as your rod is long. Now lift your rod straight up, and you'll be able to grab your gently. You'll be able to pull the fish to you without having to stand up or anything. So go down over him, almost like you're putting a sock over his head with your fist. Like that.
Oh.
Yes, there you go. You don't want to get stabbed. And now you can set your rod down and use your free hand to unhook it. Yeah, you can pull that worm away. We got plenty of bait, so you don't have to worry about it. Like off the, you want to be able to see where the hook is. Can you see that hook coming through his lip? Yeah. So pull the eye of the hook down.
So, down.
There you go, yeah. Here, if it helps, it's always worth carrying something like this, because it'll give you a better grip on the hook. So a lot of times, if you get a good grip on the hook, just twisting it, there you go. Awesome. Here, go give a look to the camera, just so you can prove that we're not faking it over here.
You got it.
Oh, it's not going to pick that up. Go show it off. Hold it about maybe 10 inches away from the lens, and you'll get a good
10 inches?
Good picture of him.
That's 10 inches. That's just 10 inches.
Higher? There you go.
Awesome. Now we're gonna.
He's all right.
Oh, I didn't know you had a small one. Yeah, that's what we do it.
Lots of these. They're all the same species too. Oh, that's a good hookup too. When they swallow the hook, it's always really difficult. That one right there has it going just through the side of his lip. That's perfect. So what I was just telling him is when you grab these fish, you want to do it going over them, yeah, so those spines don't get you.
I'm trying to see.
Just don't hook your own hand, yeah. You'll be fine. As long as you do it like just confidently, he won't. Yeah, you got him.
Oh, I got the hook.
There you go.
Do the bottom ones also have spines?
They have smaller spines, but they're not nearly as
'cause I can kind of feel that.
well equipped. Here, use this. Just gently grab the hook shank and just kind of give it a little bit of a twist.
Alright.
As long as you get them back pretty quick, they tend to survive pretty well. And he's gone.
Fish started taking me away and it like dug into my finger and it broke the skin a little bit. That might hurt tomorrow because that's right where the stick.
Oh, like a paper cut. Sort of?
Yeah, because that's right where the stick sits. It sits right on that part of my hand. So I don't know. I'll tell you how tomorrow goes.
So you were telling me earlier. Tell the camera tomorrow. What is it that you're doing?
So tomorrow me and Seth, we got some thing. It's it's called Blessing of the Fleet. I'm not.
Blessing of the Fleet. It's the opening of shrimp season.
Yeah.
Where a priest actually blesses the sailors and the fishing boats for their safety and a bountiful harvest. And it's a big tradition of the Gulf Coast.
And tomorrow.
What's your role in that?
So yeah, tomorrow I'm on our drum line at our high school. I play snare drum, and we have the entire marching band going over with our full like big uniform, the stuff that we wear during like halftime shows, and we're gonna go play some like army songs. We got something called Armed Forces Salute. We got some other kind of just like cool tunes to play whilst we do whilst we like march on to this thing. It's pretty cool.
Sounds cool. Hopefully, as being the fishermen, we have to appreciate the role that shrimp play in the Gulf Coast, and we also love to eat them. So hopefully your send off of the shrimp fleet is a good one. I would point your rod a little bit further down towards wherever your bait is sitting and take up some of that slack. That way you're going to have a more direct sense of feel to your bait. I'll come over here. You guys, what did y'all end up getting out of there? Another catfish?
Channel.
Yeah, it's a little channel, right? Because of the split tail?
Mm-hmm. Yep. They are so
Whereas
pretty.
A flathead would almost kind of look like that, but it would have the rounded tail.
Yes, they have a much more almost like a boat paddle effect going.
Well, it looked like on the bottom of it, there's like some kind of like green. I didn't see that on the other one.
Could be because it's young.
Let's
That's
get it.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty.
They're so underappreciated. Catfish are, by all accounts, like they are the kings of freshwater fish. I think there's something like 1,300 known species of catfish, which is more than any freshwater fish on Earth. Really, really neat stuff. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Doesn't have to be a monster. The weight of the line to kind of help you. So if you give that a flick out that direction, that will go a little bit
If it
further.
gets to the point where there's a steady pressure going out, just give it a little tug back.
Pretty good. And that's not a bad spot either. I would just keep it right there. Oh, you got something right away. All right, good, good, good. Don't pull too hard. Don't pull too hard. That's a sizable fish compared to what we've been getting.
All right.
Oh, you're doing good, man. Doing good.
Nice.
There you go. That was fish of the day. Yeah, he took it on the drop. Look at that. You just got him right on his lip. That's perfect.
Looks like yours, Chris.
Hey. And that is a channel catfish. The same species that you had hooked before. Check that out, man. Good job. That's awesome. So the way to handle these fish, because these spines are extremely sharp. Over the top spine and then between these two with your forefinger and your thumb, like so they can't stab you. Because they will go right through your finger. The pectoral fin, you see that right there?
Yeah.
The end of that is incredibly sharp, and they will give you a really good stabbing. That hook is just barely in his jaw too. There you go, it just fell out. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to give him to you.
Oh, yeah.
So when you grab him, you can get this off to the side. Use a free hand to go like that.
Okay.
That's how you want to switch hands with a catfish, like so.
Okay.
So actually, I'm going to hold him like this. Now your hand needs to go over the top of him, and then put his spines in front of your fingers, like between these two fingers, and in front of your thumb. Yep. Hold still. You're good. Get that spine laying down behind your hand. Perfect. All right, now control the back end of his body with the other hand, and bring him over here and show him to the camera. Hold him out right about where my hand is, right there. A little bit higher. There you go. I'm going to move this camera just a bit so I can see him. Awesome. So you've got a channel catfish. Hold him out sideways so we can see his... Yeah, they do that. Hold him out sideways so we can see his full body. Point his tail that way. That way, here, like this. You might have to switch your hand just a little bit.
I think if I do that.
There you go, perfect. That way you're not having to twist your wrist backwards and he's not gonna kick out of it. But that's a gorgeous fish. And that's a good fish. So these barbels, that's what they use to pick up on the, yeah, he's gonna do that.
He's mad.
This is how they pick up on that scent trail. And he can take anything that's small enough to fit in his mouth. Anything from the small perch we were catching earlier to this tiniest little piece of worm, he'll swallow that. But I think these fish are super underappreciated. Here, let me see his tail. That's my favorite part right there.
Yeah, these are really colorful.
They have this purple shine in their tail, and they have these like black edges on them. It almost makes them look like a shark. They kind of have a shark vibe. Really beautiful fish.
I think he got me somehow.
Yeah, so you've got a little bit of blood there. There's serrations on the back of his spine. Actually, face him downward. I want to show them to you. If you look, you see the serrations on his spine right there?
Yeah.
That's also something you got to watch out for. But as painful as that is, it's not as bad as the end.
Yeah.
So it's a trade-off kind of. So bring him over here to the water.
Alrighty.
Now when you let him go, you want to get as close to the water as you can. Let me pull this camera back so I can see this process and try to keep him falling in the water myself. All right, so one hand, let go with your left. Hold him out with your right. And try to get his body down even. No, I mean like vertical. All right, and just try to let him go and pull your hand away from those spines as you do it. There you go, and he's good. Yeah, he got you a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you'll feel it, and as time passes, you'll feel it more.
Yeah, it's starting to...
Yeah. Certain catfish, not all of them, but certain catfish are venomous. It's not any more potent than like a bee sting, but it will irritate the heck out of you.
Yeah, I feel like whatever that mucus is that's on it might bother it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So definitely whenever you have the chance, you can wash it, but it's normal. It happens to me probably hundreds of times a week, and I'm fine. Yeah, alive. That's the better word. I was gonna say I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine.
You have all your digits.
I'm alive. We won't say I'm fine.
He's got 2 hands, 2 feet.
Getting bigger.
I'm not trying to cut my finger off, so.
Okay, so look, hold it up like this. Let me see.
Go for it.
Okay, see? Reach over and then look. Grab your finger, okay, and gradually until you get it under control. Okay, and then just like that. Okay, and there's nothing that he can't move in any way. Okay, now take it. This one's a little bit small. That one's a little bit. And then you can wrestle that.
Out.
Out.
Yeah.
Here,
Got
you-
your,
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we might.
It's just like yours.
It's almost out. Oh, there we go. I got
Oh,
it.
perfect.
And okay, and see, now if you wanted to grab it this way, you can grab it around. See, obviously here, and there's nothing he can do. And on a bigger one, you just kind of grab it like that, and see, there's absolutely nothing that you can do. He cannot move without. And then just kind of go. You can do it backwards the other way, like this. Okay. And so forth. But yeah. Beautiful. You want to see him? Can you hear him talking?
My ear's clogged. Yeah. My ear's clogged. I've been trying to unclog it for the past couple of days.
Woo! Did it. I'll say we call it on that one. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, let's go for that.
From where we are right now, we're not but 6 miles from the ocean.
Yeah, you know what? You don't really think about that. But we are.
You know, talking about what we were talking about before, about those settlers that came in here, and they probably had no idea that, you know, that literally...
The bay is right over that way, yeah.
I mean, we're probably 6-7 miles from Kima, from here.
That makes sense. There was somebody telling me that, I can't remember, it was Sims Bayou was the one they were talking about. And it was right about this area, because this is where I was at when I was catfishing.
It's probably down, let's see, this is Dixie Farm. No, this is Clear Lake City. You'd have to get on Bay Area Boulevard, and that will take you all the way down to, something's going on right there.
Oh, yeah.
NASA Road will dead end into the bay. Bay Area Boulevard misses it a little bit and takes you along the ports and all the chemical plants and everything that are alongside with it.
Yeah, somebody was telling me just like there's like a major freeway and you can just stop near that freeway and they were catching redfish in a bayou.
Probably 146 well, it could be 146, it could be 225, or it could be red bluff.
I think they said 225 was the one.
Yeah. Well, those guys are dying off.
Right.
Because of regulations, because of economics, and it's a tough time. Fishing in the bay has different regulations than fishing in the ocean, and so what's happening is a lot of the offshore shrimping is going to very large corporations and take their money and run kind of thing, and it's kind of driving the
local business escape out of
business. Yeah, but I did the same thing I'm doing with you. I rode with a shrimp boat captain. Out along the ship channel.
That sounds fantastic.
And we kind of did the exact same thing we're doing now, but we were doing it for shrimp. It's kind of interesting.
Cool. I'll have to, if you can send me the link to that article, and I'll link it in the description of this video.
I didn't work for the Houston. I didn't work for the Chronicle. I wrote that as a freelancer, and I kind of submitted it to some various people. I don't know if I have a copy of it or not. That was a pretty long time ago. I'll see if I can find it, but I doubt it's anywhere online.
I want to see the photographs that you took from the ship. That'd be amazing.
I know where those are actually. Those are on my Flickr account because those were some of the first things that were in my portfolio.
Oh, okay.
The whole gallery is in. Yeah, I'll show you that. I'll send you a link to that. Because I use those in my class actually.
Gotcha.
So yeah. Those are definitely available.
Geico trailer decided to cut across all 3 lanes of traffic at one time. Alright, well guys, while we're in the car together, I thought it might be a good idea to tell you a little bit about me. So my name is Peyton Moore, by the way, for those of you who have been wondering. My name is not Wildlife, although it could be. Maybe it will be. I am a longtime teacher. I've been teaching for about 15 years, mostly in science or history-related topics. I've taught pretty much all age groups. For the last year, I've been working primarily at a swim school, actually, but that's not my background. That was something I was doing to earn the income I needed to get married. You guys, if you scroll through my video feed, you'll see there's a video where I caught a fish on my honeymoon out in Florida. I actually worked for the Houston Zoo for quite a long time, about 7 years. So I have an education background that predates that, and then I was brought into the zoo as a conservation education programs teacher. And so I have a conservation and education background. I don't claim to be the best fisherman in the world by far. Half the things I do are technically wrong, but I do have an extensive background in education and zoology. So the goal of this YouTube channel is actually to reach as many people as possible through the vehicle of fishing. I believe very strongly that fishing is something that it's very instinctual for a number of reasons. I think deep down we all kind of have that predator's instinct, and it can be manifested in different ways. Even if you're just netting butterflies to look at them and let them go, that's your predator instinct. Fishing also utilizes a piece of your predator instinct. So I think all human beings innately have that within them. And a lot of people don't realize that through fishing, you are actually getting this glimpse at this underwater world that, for most of us who are not scuba certified, and even for those of you who are, if you're thinking about muddy freshwater environments, it's an entire world of wildlife that you may otherwise never get to see, and fishing is your door into that world. So I view fishing as a means by which I can see this entire class of animals that are normally out of my reach. And as a wildlife educator, as a professional wildlife educator, I see that as an enormous opportunity to share these incredible animals with the public. And doing it through YouTube is just the greatest thing, because not only do you have loads of creative freedom, but you can reach more people. See, that's the thing. When you are involved in a professional organization that has, conservation education programs, typically speaking, you're preaching to people, you're preaching to the choir, as they say. People come, they sign up for an education program with the idea that they're already coming to be educated. Whereas through YouTube, people can get on just to see a cool fishing video, and through that, they might see something that really they just find fascinating. Like, I love sharing little bits of tidbits of information about the environments that we visit, about the fish that we see, the other animals. If we see snakes or lizards or caterpillars, you'll notice there's loads of caterpillars that make their way into my videos because they're fascinating. YouTube is my vehicle, and YouTube is my tool, and fishing is this vehicle by which I want to share the natural world with as many people as possible. So that is actually the goal of this YouTube channel, which is why I think it's aptly named Wildlife. Wildlife is what it's ultimately all about. Fishing is the focus. Even if you know more than I do, which is quite possible, I know lots of people that do, you can still watch this channel and enjoy getting to see these natural ecosystems, or even maybe these cityscapes that have become an ecosystem for some type of wild animal. And if you love them half as much as I do, it doesn't really matter if you catch small fish or a monster. It is equally exciting because they're equally fantastic animals. Now, I have to run inside the grocery store because there's a big fight tonight. Justin Gaethje's fighting Edson Barboza. My brother's coming over and we're going to watch, and it's going to be crazy and amazing. So I got to go get groceries to cook dinner with. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go buy some chicken and shrimp and cook up some tacos. I'll see you guys later. Maybe, if I can get out of this car.